history of the Biden foreign policy, and if I end up summarizing it in 2 to 3 sentences, how would you write those 2 to 3 sentences?
I would say that we made our alliances stronger, we made our enemies weaker, we made America's sources of strength stronger, and we did all of that while keeping America out of war.
And I didn't
Yes.
hear you mention Afghanistan in your opening at all. How is that going to be addressed in the speech? How would he explain or defend it at this
He
point?
will address Afghanistan in the speech, and it was in a sense referenced because I said we kept America out of war. In fact, President Biden ended America's longest war after 20 years. It had been passed from president to president, sending American men and women to fight and die in a foreign land year after year after year. President Biden was not going to hand that off, and he believes that history will judge his decision to end that war as being the right decision for the United States, that America is better off today, that we are not entering now our 25th year of war, of Americans fighting and dying, of billions and billions of dollars spent in Afghanistan. And what we have been able to do instead is refocus that effort and energy and attention on the challenges of the future. Now, when you end a war after 20 years, with all of the decisions that have piled up over that time, there are going to be challenges and difficulties, and there were challenges and difficulties in the period of the drawdown. But people predicted once we left Afghanistan, it would harm our alliances. Our alliances are at historic highs. They predicted that we would have a safe haven in Afghanistan for plotting terrorist attacks against the American homeland. Terrorism remains a very real concern, but President Biden pointed out before he pulled out that it's a more diffuse and metastasized threat, including the kind of homegrown violent extremism that we saw on display in New Orleans in January. In fact, over the course of these 4 years, we have seen President Biden, that was the first terrorist attack that has happened on American soil. It was not connected to Afghanistan as far as we know. It was connected to inspiration from ISIS. And so President Biden believes that the decision he took has left America in a profoundly stronger position, and he will explain in his speech today why he